Asylum Podcast. Broadcasting from the Asylum Studio in the 585. People are calling you crazy. You're on the right path. The Asylum Podcast. Welcome to the Asylum Podcast. Welcome, everybody, to a new episode of the Asylum Podcast, the most prolific podcast in the world. And as always, I am your humble host, Joaquin Figueroa, and it feels real good to be back in the saddle here on the Asylum Podcast. I took a little break for a while so that I could focus on some other things, including building up the studio a little bit and, giving a little bit of attention to the other podcast that I have called Insensitive Culture. But man, we've gone through a hell of a year in 2020 and we are now in 2021. And while some people like to think that 2021 it feels like a continuation of 2020, I mean, let's keep it real, right? It's not just going to go away in a day. However, I do want to address and admit that while 2020 was pretty horrible, there was a lot of bad things that went on. I want you to really focus on the good things that happened. And although the bad things in a way may overshadow it because they were pretty horrible things, we really need to start focusing on the good things that we accomplished in 2020. And for you, maybe a slew of things, right? Maybe some small goals that you hit. And I know that for me, and I'll give a few examples, right? I had a little girl early on in the year. She'll be a year old now, coming up in the next week or so. So that was definitely a blessing that came from 2020. I released my children's book, Little Bears, Two Caves, dedicated to my eldest daughter, Alani, which is available on Amazon. So if you have a child or know of a child that is that you would like to better explain what a child may go through during separation, please grab your copy on Amazon. Also in 2020, I created my other podcast and just, I've grown so much, right, from a lot of the experiences that we all went through together. And 2020 was essentially the year that allowed for us to kind of feel the same thing. The backgrounds may be different, the situations may be different, but at the same time, we all kind of felt like what we had control of, we weren't as secure as we thought, right? So what I would like to challenge you guys for 2021 and moving forward is we all hear the term, give them their flowers while they're alive. I want you to give you your flowers while you are alive. So, pat yourself on the back when you accomplish something that at one point you didn't really feel like you could, or you had some sort of obstacles, boundaries that was stopping you from accomplishing that. I want you to stop, acknowledge yourself, acknowledge the progress that you have made, and be proud of yourself, even for just a moment. And take that moving forward. Now, I say this from experience because I don't normally give myself any kind of props for anything that I do. But that has to change, right? And I understand that a lot of success can be, at least exteriorly, a lot of people look at it as physical things, right? The external things. So like the type of sneakers that you wear, the type of clothes that you buy. Um, all of this could be perceived as success. And the reason why I say that is because um, I've been given, like, my friends all come up to me and say, "Oh, I'm so proud of you for accomplishing X, Y, and Z during this time. You came up this year," right? But they don't know the bad things that I've gone through. It was probably the worst year financially, as most can, and I don't want to complain about that because I was fortunate to where I didn't actually like lose my job. I was able to go to my job. I was able to be paid. However, with a lot of difference for different reasons, financially, it was probably like one of the worst years of my life. But it didn't seem that way. So I'm getting all of this praise, and I couldn't help but focus on the downsides of 2020, as most can imagine. It was definitely a tough year, and I had a whole lot of time to reflect, being at home with my family, and and really being forced to deal with gaining weight because gyms were closing, and I was already struggling with that. Gyms closed, and like I explained, the financial aspect, not having something to do was a big one for me because it wasn't something I was accustomed to in quite some time. I don't know what to do when there's literally nothing to do. And then so what happened was I went right back to what my old comfort was, right? I don't know what to do. I'm going to eat. And that's fine. Like it is what it is. I can't take back anything, any bad decisions that I've made. However, I can correct it. So with all that being said, is I know that we've all gone through a hell of a lot. We've gone through a lot of shit together. And a lot of shit behind closed doors. So just focus on giving yourself your flowers, right? I want you to take a look at your life and count the blessings. I don't care if it was that, your goal was to brush your teeth religiously for, twice a day. Like, hey, you hit that goal. Like, I want you to be proud of that. So that you can move forward with a positive mind, knowing that you've already been thrown so much and you've overcome that. I want you to be happy in that. I want you to revel in it, and I want you to be excited that you came out victorious in a year when a lot of people did not. Um, I want you to understand that self-doubt and negative self-talk is definitely like a dream killer. And the most important thing that we have in our lives are our dreams, our visions of the future, our thoughts of our own personal growth. And given the year that we've had, it'd be real easy to give into that. But I don't want that. I don't want that for me. I don't want that for you. I don't want that for anyone. So some people just may need to hear this, and some people, need to understand that right there, like the biggest obstacle that we all face is within our own minds. No one knows what I go through on a day-to-day basis. I have no idea what you go through on a day-to-day basis. And by that, I mean, I have no idea of the conversations that you have with yourself every single day, because that is a huge obstacle. If all that you tell yourself is that you're worthless and, you can't accomplish things that others have easily accomplished, because that's absolutely not true. So start from within, right? Remove the self-doubt, overcome that obstacle, and you'll be way better off in your life. I'd say consistently write down your accomplishments. If you wanted to take something away from this, get yourself a notebook, write down your accomplishments, write down the things that you have accomplished, because sometimes they're not as apparent. And sometimes you have to sit there and think about it. And then really think to yourself, like, man, I did that. Write them down, read them every day if you have to. Add to it. Whenever you accomplish something new, add to it. And then every single day, if you have to, read your accomplishments. And also take another page out to write down any goals that you may have in the short term, in the long term, and then start chipping away at those. What can I do to accomplish this within a certain amount of time? Chip away at it. And then once that goal slips into the accomplishments, be happy for yourself. Be proud of yourself and know that you can do that. You did that. And now you could do that moving forward with this other thing. So I wanted to tell you that. I don't have much more time here, but I want you to know that fear and self-doubt, unfortunately, is very, very common. A lot more people go through that than you can even imagine. But they don't let that determine their fate. And you shouldn't let that determine your fate either. So whenever that fear and self-doubt creeps in, I want you to tell yourself, or I want you to tell that part of you to shut up. Brush it out and say, I can do this. And that's my thought process right now for 2021, because a lot of people are making the jokes that, oh, I guess it's the 13th month of, 2020. Or, oh, looks like 2021 is already off to a bad start, just like 2020. And it can be if you let it. And a lot of things are going to throw, obstacles in your way. So let's be mindful of that. But once we know that is a given, all we could do is prepare mentally, because that obstacle can easily be, you can easily get over that obstacle as long as you prepare mentally, knowing that it may happen. Just calm down. Don't let it overwhelm you. Move forward. Get past it. I believe in you. I believe in myself. I just need you to believe in yourself. Fuck it, while you're there, believe in me too. But guys, I just wanted to share that with you before we move forward with any other episodes, because it's been a while. And I did want to tell you guys that I appreciate the loyalty, the listens. The numbers have just been going up, even though I haven't been, dropping any episodes. So I appreciate you guys. There are some episodes coming up. We're moving forward, and I'm referring to this as Season X, because there won't be a season past this. And what I mean by that is this will continue going without it being seasons, because seasons was just a cop-out for not being able to produce episodes. And we're not doing that. We're not doing that in 2021. 2021 is about improvement, and we're going to improve about every aspect of life in general. So guys, love you. Thank you for tuning in. I'll see you next week. Broadcasting from the Asylum Studio in the 585.